Hi, this is John Thow, and welcome to SlickPixels.com and our coverage of the 2012 Nellis Air Force Base Air Show. Daniel, Lionel, Kristen, Luke, and I were all on hand to photograph the 2012 show, and as always, Nellis did not disappoint. As you'll see in my opening images, we started the day walking the flight line, checking out the static displays that included Aggressor F-16s, one with a radical new blue and gray paint scheme known as Blizzard Camouflage, and one with the black and white Arctic camo. We also saw the Aggressor F-15C that debuted last year with the Vector camo scheme. Each of these color combinations are designed to closely resemble schemes that appear on aircraft currently flown by potential adversary nations. As the flying started, there was far more filling the surrounding skies than aircraft. The weather was starting to move in, and it was really a mixed bag, unlike anything we've experienced at Nellis for an airshow weekend before. When we arrived Friday morning, the skies were clear, and while the temps were a little cool, it was really nice and gradually warming up. After a couple of hours, we noticed that the wind was kicking up a bit, and on the horizon to the southwest, you could see what appeared to be a sandstorm working its way toward the Las Vegas Strip. After another hour or two, the base was suddenly engulfed in a blinding sandstorm. What had seemed to take forever to get to us was suddenly upon us faster than we knew what was even going on. We were standing in front of the three F-86s as they were warming up for their routine when the sand hit. The engines immediately started to suck sand and dirt into their intakes, and they shut down the Sabres as quickly as possible, placing covers into the intakes and heading for cover themselves. We shot a couple quick snaps and ducked for cover behind a parked car, quickly stowing cameras and other gear in an effort to keep things a little cleaner. You'll see a picture or two in our galleries showing the sand blowing around the Sabres. Fortunately, that part of the storm passed fairly quickly, but was followed by an afternoon of fairly gusty winds, making things a bit uncomfortable for anyone trying to keep their booth or belongings from blowing down the flight line. Most importantly, after a relatively short break, flying was able to resume and the show continued, and we all got back to work. We were treated to flybys from the T-33 known as Ace Maker, the CAF's Bearcat, and a pair of P-51 Mustangs. Clay Lacey brought out his Learjet for his flight demonstration. Suddenly, the flight line was filled with the scream of air raid sirens as two Aggressor F-16s ripped across show center, complete with pyrotechnic explosions blowing up between the runways. Nellis quickly scrambled a pair of F-15C Eagles to intercept the quote-unquote enemy fighters, and the Aggressor demo was well underway. We've seen this performance at Nellis the past couple of years, and it's always one of our favorites. We really enjoy the simulated dogfight and the flares popping from the Aggressor jets lighting up the sky. After that, Nellis even had a flight demo from a B-1B Lancer, affectionately known as the bone of the B-1 community. It's always great to see the B-1. It's been a welcome addition to the show lineup, and we haven't seen a B-1 flying in an air show since the last Edwards open house. Then it was on to a pair of F-15E Strike Eagles, followed by the Combat Search and Rescue, or CSAR demo as it's better known, featuring two Pavehawk helicopters and a pair of A-10 Thunderbolts, better known as Warthogs. One of the HH-60s made an aggressive landing to pick up a simulated downed pilot, while the other circled close by, flying in cover in addition to the A-10s. After CSAR came the Raptor demo, always a crowd favorite, and then the Heritage Flight. This year's Heritage Flight featured two F-86 Sabres, the F-22, and a P-51 Mustang. The Horsemen did get another chance to fly the three F-86s on Friday after the Thunderbirds did their show. Saturday's lineup was very much the same. On Saturday, the weather again moved in, but differently, eventually surrounding the base with rain from the west and even some snow flurries to the north and south. The air got noticeably cold as the front moved in, but never reached the flight line. It was like being in a little clear, high-pressure bubble surrounded by rain and weather. At one point, some of the aircraft were actually flying through a wall of water from the north into clear skies in front of the show crowd and then re-entered the rain to the south. It was an awesome sight, and I'm sure looked even more amazing from the cockpit. The weather aside, the airshow lineup for 2012 changed things up a bit with a new act from the Horsemen that we were discussing a little bit earlier. They were flying three F-86 Sabre jets in tight aerobatic formation. This was an awesome display of U.S. Air Force technology from the early days of the jet age, and a nostalgic look back at a piece of Nellis history. The F-86 was a very prominent part of life at Nellis back in the day. The Thunderbirds put the finishing touches on the show with their unique brand of high-speed aerobatics and high-energy flying, and are always the highlight of any show, not to mention any Nellis show. We really enjoy getting the chance to see the team wrap up their season in front of the hometown crowd. There's always a lot of excitement from the team members and the folks watching. It's also a great chance to meet the incoming pilots. Well, that's about it for now. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to have a look at the Slick Shop for our latest posters, prints, books, t-shirts, and more. Be sure to check out the other galleries. And remember, at Slick Pixels, we have friends in high places, and so do you. We'll see you at the air show.